Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Take 5 Stash Bash. I am Mary with Ocean Breeze and Me. And first off, I want to thank Take 5 for inviting me to join in for today's event. And I have a conglomeration of things that I'm going to put together for Good Morning, Cheryl. To make my project. We have an hour, so that gives us lots of time to chat, have coffee, and come up with a creation. And there is Jackie. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to go ahead and pull myself up on my laptop in hopes that I can see you better than I can on my phone. We all know how that is. All right. Oh, there we go. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Christy. Thank you. All right, we shall click there and we shall click there and bingo. There we are. Good morning, Lori. How are you? And also, we are streaming through Craft Around the Clock today. So in the description, you will see both places that you can find all of our wonderful creators today. So let me show you all of the things that we are going to put together today. Good morning, Mare. This is the first. And you're probably going to think, Mary, it's February. Well, if you know me, you know I like the beach. So we have a disc here, and we have 2 photos, which as I'm moving along, I will be asking you to choose one. These are all, oh shoot, had it on the tip of my tongue. Decoupage Central, that's right. So we have this one. And we have this one. If nothing else, it would be vacation time, right? And I have all kinds of pieces of fabric, believe it or not. This is all, good morning, Irma. This is all beach related. These have seagulls. We have sailboats. This one is so cute. This is, I'll turn it this way so you can see. This is your fencing that you usually see at the beach with the sand. And there's a few, no, there isn't. I thought there was a few seagulls, but not. So this is all that we are going to use today. You know where my mindset is. So I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to paint this disc, and then we will go back to it after the print has been picked, because I probably will add a little bit of darker blue around the top. Okay. So I hope everybody's had a good week. Finally, our weather got pretty as of yesterday. And as they're saying, it is the calm before the storm. Because Sunday night, here it comes. We have a nor'easter coming our way. And believe me, I'm doing a lot of on my knees praying. I'm done with this. No more. I want it to go away. 3 to 5, which isn't bad. They're calling for, but I'd rather not have any. And it shouldn't last as long as the last one because we're not getting a deep freeze afterwards. Hey, I'm ready to go to the beach. I've really had, I'm done with the cold. Not a cold person. Who am I missing here? Good morning, Sheila. How are you? Sheila will be in our event today. No, I'm not, Mayor. I'm not ready. You call. Oh, well, thank you, Christy. It's an honor. I'm so grateful that you asked. And Grace Faithful Creations, AKA, I can't read it. But anyway, hello. I will see it much better later, I'm sure. Ah, who do I see? Esmeralda, good morning. How are you? If none of you have gone over to Lovett's Garden and seen the phenomenal fabrics that, as well, everything is phenomenal that Esmeralda has, plus her beautiful pieces that she creates, you need to go over there and visit. And I want to tell you what, you will have the time of your life, because once Chad starts and Esmeralda starts laughing, you can't do anything but laugh. She has the cutest darn laugh. She starts laughing and I'm laughing as well. All right, let's just set that aside. Doesn't take me long. Okay. I've got a towel here to wipe these messy fingers. Okay, back to what our board. I do want to touch up the sides. They are not white. Not that they're actually going to be seen that much. I just feel better about it. So does anybody have anything special going on this weekend? I mean, this is special. I was supposed to go walking this morning. I didn't make it. We go to our American Legion. It's twice a month. They have what they call Bada Bingo, which is music bingo. I love it. And our last set last night was all music that I grew up with. So it was a lot of fun. We go with about 8 to 10 people. So that will probably be our excitement for the week. I said to my husband, I said, we've had our date night. So now we're in the process of getting ready for our family reunion. We reserved our space yesterday. We are going to Oklahoma. This is Bill's family. And we're hosting it. Not an easy thing to do when you live in Delaware and you're hosting in Oklahoma, but we're getting there. We're going to Sequoia State Park, and they have a lodge, some cabins, cabanas, which we took a cabana. This will be a first. And we're there for 3 days. My husband wanted to drive. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's 19 hours. So we got a new car. So, you know, got to drive everywhere. Well, if you want me to be halfway decent at the reunion, you might want to reconsider. That's a lot of being in the car. So we are definitely going to fly. So, amen. I hope we're moving here. Sparkle Mountain Creations, good morning. Oh, I know, Sheila. And you know, it's funny because the family didn't get together for years. And Bill has or had quite a large family. And at the beginning, I was very overwhelmed. I mean, it was my mother, myself, and my cousins. That was it. Well, we had my grandmother, but the rest of the family was gone. So I had a small family. And then, I mean, Bill was one of 8. And by the time we got married, a lot of them were already married. Our wedding, one of the nieces came up and said, "Hi, Aunt Mary." And I'm like, wait a minute. I was an aunt now. So it was, it's nice to have a large family. And we get together every 2 years. Bill's Uncle Bob and Aunt Jane are the ones that got the family back together. There was a feud. Surprise, surprise. I guess sometimes it happens in a large family. But they finally put their differences aside, which was wonderful. And I got to know so many members of Bill's family, which, you know, they never, ever once made me feel like I wasn't a part of the family. Bill's one cousin, Leah, yeah, we're blood cousins as far as she's concerned. So it has been great. And considering I was the only child, it's really nice. So every 2 years, we go to a different place. We try to go to a different place. We have been doing this for over 25 or over 35 years, something like that. So it's been a long time. And this will be the first for Oklahoma. We've never been. Cheers. Good morning, Jackie Decker. How long have I been married? Well, funny you should ask. I have an anniversary coming up next month, and my husband and I will be married 56 years. You know, I have a pillow under me. I kind of chuckle because when I met his parents for the first, well, his mother first, she made the comment about they had been married 35 years, and I looked at my husband and I went, oh my God, oh, here, let me tip you down, geez. And I'm like, oh my gosh, 55 years, or 35 years, and I'm thinking, that's a lifetime. You don't realize, you have no idea how fast time goes, but it does. So, there's Andrew. Good morning. Andrew, I'm sorry, I did not see you, but I'm waving to you. Good morning. Okay, so let's start. I think we're going to start with this one, and I'm going to leave it. Oh, thank you, Javier. Yeah, not always a bed of roses, I will say. So what I'm going to do is we are going to put our strips of fabric on our slats. I'm looking for my right size scissors here. So we will have the beach scene behind the beach scene. How's that? I'm going to use Mod Podge. Oh, and by the way, these particular strands of fabric came from Lisa's letters. "25 years was Oh, oh, Jackie, I'm so sorry. When we moved to Delaware, it'll be soon be 4 years. It will be 4 years in September, and I'll never forget one of my friends that I worked with, and she pulled me aside one day, and she goes, "Don't get mad at me, but I want to ask you this." I said, "Okay." She said, "Have you given any thought to what if something happens and, you know, I should lose Bill?" And I said, "Well," I said, "you know, it's a choice that we made. I guess I'm just a stubborn old girl, but I have seen a lot and I've been around a lot to watch. I lost my mother very early. We lost a niece at 26. We lost Bill's parents. We lost his aunt. We lost his cousin. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And of course, we lost his Aunt Jane and Uncle Bob, which out of the whole family loss, that was the toughest, along with our niece. But I think I'm strong enough to be able to continue. I always would say, and I don't mean this in any way disrespectful, but I always said that my life, I had a life before Bill, and I think I can have a life after. But I mean, my gosh, who knows? It could be, it could be the other way around. But we made the decision, and we're happy being here. I mean, we even left our kids and our grandkids, but they're all grown. And that makes a big, big difference. My granddaughter graduates from college this year. It just doesn't seem possible. Doesn't seem possible. And our grandson graduated last year, and he is going to college, but he had to wait. They didn't have room for him the past year, so he goes in the spring. And then our adopted granddaughter, she will graduate this year. So they're all, and she's going to college and got a community college and got a full scholarship. So they're well on their way. And our granddaughter Sarah will come down and visit. I'm trying to get my grandson to come down. Ash is going to take her a little while. She came from a very rough background. So it's a matter of her, first of all, getting adjusted where she is. And she's doing super. But I think for her to come and stay here with us without either my son or daughter-in-law might be a little bit too much for her at this particular time. I mean, we enjoy spending time with her and she with us, but they are her security. So, and as it should be. And then, of course, my younger son, he does not have any children of his own. His wife does. Oh, excuse me, itchy nose. Okie doke. We have seagulls, which I think maybe I'll do a row of seagulls. And then maybe the ships. Or need to do another row, I think. Then I'll go into the seagulls. And when I decided to craft, I was a hairdresser, which it's amazing how I have found how many of our crafting sisters were hairdressers. It's amazing. And when I decided to get married, you know, there's this thing called reciprocity. And Brenda probably, if she's here, Brenda knows. It is nerve-wracking, those tests. Oh, Lord. I took my mother-in-law the first time, and she fell asleep because she was a nurse, and she worked night shift, and she went with me. You're not allowed to talk. And here she is. I'm trying to do something with her hair, and she got her head way down. So, and I passed my first one. Then I went for teacher's license. That was a real toughie. And I took my best friend with me. And I kept telling her, do not utter a word. So, at that time, there were no curling irons, blow dryers. You were doing curlers. And I had to put her under the dryer. So I had everything done, and under the dryer I was getting ready to do, I had to do nails, I think. And her eyes are going up and down and up and down, and I couldn't catch on. What the heck was wrong? So I went over to one of the judges and I said, there is something wrong. I said, can I please ask her what it is? So they said yes, and I went over and she said, the hairdryer doesn't work. It was funny because, you know, we're on a time frame, but I did pass that one too. So, you know, I go through all this work, and get married. First place we are is Delaware. Do they accept my license? No. Jackie, good morning, and you have a wonderful day too. So I said, I am not retesting. So after Delaware, I ended up having Doug. After Delaware, Andrews Air Force Base. Do they take your license? No. And then from there it was Germany. Forget that. So when we finally came back stateside, I did work for a little while doing hair, but I had a family. So I ended up stopping. And then I lost my mom. And after my mother, then I went into retail. Retail's a nightmare. Those are some long hours. And I was losing my ever-loving mind. It was just, I slept retail, ate retail. I mean, it was retail. So it was like something has to give. So I ended up finding something that I enjoyed, and it ventured, and it blossomed from there. So, okay. Let's do our seagulls, sailboats. I've got all kinds of, actually, maybe we'll do a strip of, let me take a look at my seagulls. What are they doing? Nothing particularly. seagulls next. I'll hold this up for you once I get the seagulls down. So, it kind of, and I know a lot of you feel the same way, you get into doing your craft and that's all you think about, and your mind actually rests and gets away from whatever it is that's, you know, heavy on your shoulders. You can break away from it for however long. And that's exactly what it did. Kind of rescued me from going bananas. And I was doing Chalk Couture at the time. And then I got into Craft Around the Clock and just started watching and thinking, oh my goodness, there is so much out there that I didn't know. So from there, you know, you get very experimental and want to expand. So that's exactly what I did. Now, mind you, there are times where I have to step away. My hands are bad. I had surgery once, and I swear I would never do it again. It's my left hand now. I just can't. It's such a long recovery, and it's painful. It's worse than having a baby. And I'm like, I just can't do this again. So I figure I'll just hurt. I think we'll do one more. The seagulls. So I was doing Craft Around the Clock once a week and going on my page like 2 or 3 times a week. So I actually had to stop going on my page as much. I now am focusing on YouTube and doing Craft Around the Clock. And that's it. Which, hey, you know what? I'm 77. Not doing too bad. My son, my youngest, is an executive chef, but he chose to work in not the medical field per se, but he works in assisted living facilities, making sure that their meals, you know, he has a very soft spot for the elderly. And he always says to me, Mom, why do people just not care how they spend the rest of their life? I said, don't ask me. I said, but it's a shame. So he makes sure when he is preparing meals or, you know, they're making up a menu, that these people have the opportunity to enjoy what they're having. He has set up wine dinners for the residents, you know, the full-blown china, linen, the whole thing. He said there's no reason why they shouldn't have the things that they would have anyway, any other time. So it's really quite a passion of his. Good morning, Pat. So quite proud of him. But he will always tell me, Mom, don't stop crafting. He said, there are people here that are 55, 60, 65. He said, you would think that they were 85 or 90 because they have stopped using their brain. So, he said, even if you don't do it live, do it. Now, all this fabric has already been grunged. So let me show you. We're setting a little bit of a scene. You can see the fences. You can see the seagulls. Now we're going to do some glue. Oops, I missed that. My husband and I are you, Jackie? Yes, that's nice. That's nice. What job did I do that I loved? Probably when I did hair. Unfortunately, I mean, when I was doing it, there was not a lot of big bucks in doing hair. And of course, for you to make a decent salary, you worked long hours. You worked Monday through Saturday. So, yeah. In fact, Andy was turning 7, and I was working at the shop, and it was his birthday. And we had discussed this in the morning, that Mom had to work, and I think I had to work until like 7. When I got home, you know, we were going to have a birthday celebration for him. And he got a present before he went to school. You know, we had a special breakfast. And he called me while I was at work. And he said, when are you coming home? And I said, it'll be about an hour. Oh, he let me have it all 4 barrels. You don't love me. You have to work on my birthday. Here I am at home and I'm waiting and you're not here. And talk about hurt your heart. And we had quite a few discussions about Mom not working. So I put it out to both of them. I said, this is how it is. I don't have to work. I can stay home. No problem. But, you know, all the extras that you get, you're not getting them. So they went about their business for a little while, and they both came back together and said, Mom, maybe you should go ahead and keep working. It's tough. I mean, they don't realize how hard it is on us. Okay, sip of coffee time. Cheers, everybody. Okay, we're going to do another blue. Then we're going to do sailboats. And then we will work on our disc. But I consider myself quite lucky. The boys, they grew up being level-headed kids for the most part. Andy was our mischievous one. And he also ended up being our learning disability child. But you would never know it today. It was a struggle for a bit. But all is well. And that helps you sleep good at night. Oh, gee, eyes. Ugh. So I finally went to the doctor. A lot of you who watch me, you know I have asthma. And it's been a pain in my neck of late. So now they are treating me for if like I had pneumonia because the cough will not go away. So they're treating me like I have pneumonia, which I don't, to see if they can clear this up and get me back to where I need to be. So I have 4 weeks to improve, and if not, then we'll see what's next. Probably injections. But I told her, I said, I am so tired of coughing. Cough at night, cough all day. It's ridiculous. Taking my meds. Okay, sailboat time. Strings. All right. The sailboats aren't going up and down. They're all over the place. I couldn't place them that they would be straight up and down. So we're going to do sailboats, and I think probably one more blue, and it should be covered. I'm doing all right. I have half hour yet. And as I said, this is Take 5 Stash Bash, using what you have. And I've had, this board is ancient. I've had this since sometime last year. So we are clearing out some things. I have a long way to go. Long way to go. I'm using a brush for my yes. Here I am not being able to do two things at once. Mod Podge so that it doesn't get super wet. I just cut this. So any of you that might be watching that live in the Oklahoma area, send me a message and tell me what all kind of goodies there are to see. Now, I will tell you, we're going to be close to Stillwater. I think we are about an hour out of Tulsa and an hour and a half maybe out of Oklahoma City. But I'm very anxious. If the reunions hadn't have been started, I would never have seen as much of the United States as I have seen. Now we have gone back to, the last one was in Tennessee, which we had been to before, but I had the pleasure of meeting our dear sweet Sherry Wilson, who we lost, and also Cheryl from M&C Treasure. So that was a plus. Okay, and one more blue. And we will have it covered. I just didn't want to paint. Is Tamara here? Let me take a look here. Oh. Uh-oh. That could be dangerous. Good morning, Pam. How are you? Thank you, Mayor. There she is. Good morning, Tamara. Oh, bad cough for 15 years. Do you smoke? My mother was terrible. Good morning, Dawn. My mother caused her own death. She was told in her 40s to stop smoking because she would get the bronchitis all the time. She would end up with bronchial pneumonia, and she didn't listen and ended up with cancer. She was diagnosed, and 6 months later she was gone. She was told. But I didn't listen either. I was a smoker, and that wasn't enough to make me quit. It wasn't until Bill's father passed. My mother went very quietly. His dad had to be told, and there's nothing worse than standing there listening to what your outcome is and how long you have. I'll never forget it. And I walked out of that hospital room and took one look at Bill and said, I'm done. I said, my kids aren't going through this. And I threw my cigarettes in the trash. Done. Okay, let's give it a dry. And if we have any side pieces that aren't quite, I can always go back and get them. Oh, yes, Tamara. I do too. I always called her my mentor. I have her. It sits here forever, and I read it all the time. But I want to get a nice frame, and I want to put it up. Okay, I think it's pretty good. Do you, Pam? Yeah. Okay. So there it is. We start out with the fence, then the seagulls, then the blue, then the sailboats, and then the blue. Okay. I need you to tell me. We'll make this number 1, which print you'd like. This is number 1. This is number 2. So let me know what you think, regardless of which one I use. I'm going to Hey, Cynthia. Good morning, friend. Good morning, Tracy. I'm going to take just maybe 2. So I see a 2, I see a 2. What did you say, Tamara? Yeah. They're doing okay. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right now Cheryl is with her son and her granddaughter. So that has made her, ooh, well, Mary, a little bit went to being a lot. Her granddaughter has lightened up her life, let me tell you. I'm so happy for them. Oh, come on, get your finger in it, girl. I don't want to brush it. So you like to. This, believe it or not, this was the first one that I picked. And then I thought, well, then this morning, it was this one that I cut out. And I thought, you know what? I'll let you pick. So, all right. Boy, what I wouldn't give to have my bike parked right in front of that house. I have a friend who's in Puerto Rico right now. She goes every year to find sea glass. Oh, pictures, oh my goodness, they're beautiful. I tell her, I said, I love my winter adventures with you, because she posts every day. Okay, we're going to dry. Okay, let's give it a dry. Jessica must be in the house. Good morning, Jessica. Yeah, there she is. Thank you. So after me today, you will have Jeannie's palette. So make sure you stay in our group. Follow along for a nice day of crafting. You can grab your coffee. Good morning, Kelvy. What? Tiffany is in. Aww, what? She is here. Good morning, Tiffany. Love you, big sweetie. Oh. Go on, FB. I'm using Mod Podge. I'm just using a paintbrush on it rather than a squeegee. Everything has been Mod Podge. Well, Tiffany, that stinks. I got put in for one time for 30 days. And it was the craziest thing. But it's because it's not a human reading it. And they have their trigger words and that's it. You're done. looks like a nice vacation for me. Okay. What do you say that we darken it up a little? It is a bit bright. I always start out less. Figure I can always add more, but I'm always so afraid that I'm going to get this big clump of dark wax. We just had our taxes done yesterday, so we can smile for another year. I don't know, the tax guy said something, and Bill goes, guaranteed vacation. It's nice when you get everything back. Okay. You can always add more. Now, before I do anything else, I don't want it flat on. So I have a Jenga block. Thank you. Watching from Montana. You like the layering? Thank you. Now I forget where I had it again. I think right in here. Shoot. Eee. Talk too much. Talk too much. Okay. There it is. Whoop. I'm not done. And I don't have it centered. It's going to give on me first. Come on, be nice. Thank you. That's better. It's early for me. Not really, but it is. I was up way too late last night. Okay, let's move this out of the way. I do have, you're going to hear it in a minute. Got your hang up here. Thank you. Where's that little tiny one? Ah, got one inside of the other. Oh, I guess you stay there. There we go. Okay. Most of the shells that I have here, I've collected myself. There's another one. I think I got more of them at the Jersey Shore than I have found at the Delaware Shore. And I also have, which I'm not sure. We'll see. Let go. Thank you. Oh, Pam, I love the beach too. My home away from home. Tell ya. When we first, I'm not sure. When we first decided to move here, I wanted to be much closer to the beach than we are. But with all the weather that's been going on, and it's rough. It's rough. So I'm glad we are where we are. Only takes us 30 minutes to get to the beach. That's much better than 3 hours. So all I'm doing is just tearing a stem apart. So be sure you stay tuned for Jeannie's palette, who is up next. You've got a nice lineup today. So if it's snowing or cold or rainy where you are, grab your coffee. Come join us. Okay. I'm playing with my shells here. Bam. I have sea glass too, but it's a little bright. My brown is in another bag. Oh, that's pretty. That is pretty. I think we'll tuck you in there. Got 2 minutes. Any little one. Little. Nope, I think that's too big. I'll leave my one little one there. There's another one. I do like it has some red in it, which is pretty cool. Now, if I don't get this all done, I'm playing around with the thought. I will definitely take a picture. I don't know if I like any of them. I just have to play around with it a bit. Anyway, 1 minute left. It's time for our next presenter. I thank you all so much for being here, supporting me, and supporting our Take 5 Stash Bash. So you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I definitely will catch up with you one day next week on Craft Around the Clock. And until then, thank you again. Hugs and kisses. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.